One of you guys said that Piratesoftware is a grifter. While I don't necessarily agree entirely with that statement, it kinda made me think. A little hamster in my head was going on and kept on spinning. There was something about this statement that was so true, and I couldn't really point my finger into it. And then out of nowhere, it just hit me out of the sudden. I was thinking about another creator that was so loved and he had so much passion into making games that eventually led to a burnout and made him stop developing any games and content whatsoever. I'm talking about a creator named Dani. Dani is a wildly popular indie developer that made wacky but very fun games. You know him from Crab Game, you know him from the game Muck. I enjoyed playing those games since they were so simple. It was fun. It showed us that you didn't need to be a AAA developer. You don't need a big team to make great games. And since then we got so many great games from indie developers. But one other indie developer is Piratesoftware, and with his game called Heartbound. Heartbound is obviously inspired by the game Undertale, and Undertale is a different beast on its own. So now we're just going to compare these two creators. Why are they so loved and why are they so hated? We're coming back to Piratesoftware, don't worry about it. So I found a video from, just say, Steven. Great content creator, I'm subscribed to him. You should subscribe to him as well. He makes amazing videos, and he made a video called Most Loved versus Most Hated Indie Game Developers. And we're just going to react to the first indie developer named Dani.
We're going to compare them to some of the most disliked devs in the industry. Starting off with Dani. Dani was a game dev YouTuber that was getting over 10 million views in almost every video that he uploaded.
Oh my god.
And he was so popular that even Mr. Beast wanted to collaborate with him. You know, before all the Mr. Beast drama came to light.
Mr. Beast. Mr. Breast. Let's be real, Dani was a really good content creator. He was someone that knew how to make games and someone that knew how to be entertaining. Coding is very, very boring, and making games is not like playing games. Trust me, I've tried creating a game and I've failed horribly, which is still a little bit better than someone that never made a game and then tries to say how easy it is to make a game. It's way easier than other jobs. Yeah, I get that, but still it takes a lot of your time and effort to make something good.
But every game that Dani released was just going absolutely viral on Twitch, and one of my favorite games of all time is this little janky survival game that he made called
Oh my god, Muck.
And he managed to grow a pretty dedicated fan base because his viewers just loved the way Dani presented himself on camera. Like, he made game development, which is usually a very boring thing to do, you know, fun with all the memes and all the edits in his videos. But things took a pretty dark turn for Dani, because while working on his dream game Carlson, which was a mix of first-person shooter, parkour, and milk cartons, his fans got extremely parasocial with the game's development process.
Not only that dude didn't ask money for his game except for Carlson. And Carlson was the one game he didn't deliver. Like, he made Muck and he made Crab Game, and those two games are free. So the only thing with Crab Game is that there were like some of these drops and you could get skins. You pay for it, but that's like a way of supporting the creator. Like, amazing game, joined the server, heard colorful words, and now known every slur to man. Kinda like old CSGO. Absolute cinema, great at destroying friendships. Look, you don't need a big team to make a good game. Look at it. I have over 8 hours. Okay, that's not bad, right? Wait, I just saw something different. Crab Game 2. What's this? That can... No. Oh my god, what is Crab Game 2? That is not by Dani, that's by Jeff. And this costs money. 2 euros, hell nah. This is a disgrace to be called Crab Game 2. This guy made a worse version of Crab Game, then proceeded to charge money for it. It has better movement, better graphics, and cosmetics. Holy fuck, I didn't know somebody could stoop this low.
To the point that they were harassing Dani on every single social media platform, asking him, where's Carlson, when is it coming out, why are you posting less updates? And all of that harassment just quickly escalated to people sending actual threats for not releasing Carlson sooner. Why?
I know it's like the internet and you shouldn't even listen to most of the people, but I gotta be honest with you. Sending death threats, are you fucking crazy? Are you out of your mind? You take the time out of your day to start verbally harassing somebody you don't know, somebody that lives at the other side of the world. Do you have a life, dude? Like, I get it, you don't like a certain creator, but let's leave it at that. Let's be civil. You don't know the person. You fucking psycho, you crazy.
People think this is a good idea. Why do they think this is going to speed up the process? I don't know. But the amount of pressure that Dani was under from all of this started causing him to post less and less videos until he eventually just went radio silent on social media to work on the projects in peace, and he hasn't uploaded in over 2 years. And now everybody's coming out asking—
Let's look at his channel. Like Dani too. Jesus. Yeah, his last video was 3 years ago. Oh my god. Let's see. Yeah. It was over 3 years ago. Jesus, Dani. Didn't know it really hit you that hard. But yeah, of course, I couldn't like fathom the amount of hate he got. Like, yes, he is very beloved as a creator. Surely he does. But every beloved creator has some like hardcore haters. And at this level, getting hate is like real. It's real. I'm not talking about like 10 people. I'm talking about thousands of people that just generally don't like him. And then one of those 1,000 people is like crazy enough to go to his house. You know, you really should be aware of what the dangers are on posting on the internet.
question, where's Dani? But no one really gets the chance to sit down and ask the real question, which is,
how is Dani? Classic, bro, classic. So that was of course about the creator named Dani. Now we're going to the other side of the coin. We're talking about Piratesoftware and with his recent drama. Look, I think Penguinz0 and Mutahar really just perfected like the video format and talked about the drama entirely. I made 2 videos. One of them was saying that Piratesoftware, Tor or Jason, whatever his name is, I think he had more malicious intent than he portrays, since first and foremost his own game Heartbound, he doesn't want to work on it anymore, which is understandable, but at least be honest about it. And second of all, he was also like kind of working on a live service game, and the movement of stop killing games would really interfere with this live service game. So okay, you can say he's an industry plant, a corporate shill, whatever. Perhaps he left Blizzard, but Blizzard never left him. But to be fair, it's not his counter opinion on the movement that got him the hate. It was his response, his actions, and how he went further and beyond to like defend himself in the worst way possible. That was my second video. His tweets were outrageously bad, and at the end he kinda apologized, but he said, "I'm sorry you feel that way." He still doesn't understand what kind of shithole he dug himself into. And that was the sentiment for a lot of people, why they don't like Piratesoftware. And now recently, this comment that I've gotten saying like, hey, I think Piratesoftware is kind of a grifter. He used his reputation and status as an indie game dev to gather an audience, and as soon as his audience got big enough, he just stopped his dev job and continued like streaming. First, I thought like, yeah, that kind of sounds malicious and probably wasn't really that planned out. Like, he was streaming for a longer time, but what I think personally is he saw someone like Dani get a lot of subscribers for making games, and a lot of other creators also got big. The genre of making games and making content about that is so big for every creator. I recently saw like a game where you can sled down and be a frog, and that guy got so much success off Instagram, just like saying day 1 of posting this, day 2 of posting this, I added another sled in my game. It's a cutesy game, it doesn't have to be like super complex. And I think Tor saw that and tried to like capitalize off that genre, and I don't think that's like a real grifter ass thing to do. With this game Heartbound, it sucks that it was for more than 6 years in early access. The game still isn't done. Let's be real, the game does look good, the sound effects are good, the artwork is good, and it's not an easy task to do it when you're streaming so many hours at a time. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to defend him. Yeah, the dude plays like 12 hours a day of like games, perhaps an 18-hour World of Warcraft stream or whatever. Where does he find the time to continue developing the game while he like maintains a Twitch channel, a YouTube channel, and etc, etc. Like, he showed on one of his streams how easy it is to clip things from Twitch and make a short about it. It was super easy, it was like done in 5 minutes, blah blah blah. But I still think about it, like, after 10 hours of streaming, does he really like review his footage and then go manually like, okay, I want to make a clip out of this one, or this one. No, I think he has moderators and other people doing that for him. So that's kind of automated, right? But he got a lot of shit on his shovel. He's taking a lot of shit and he has to do so much. And plus he has a ferret rescue, right? But that's still not an excuse to not finish your game. And that is why people call him a grifter. He didn't finish his game after 6 years. I share the same sentiment as you, dear viewer. This isn't like super complex game. This isn't Balatro. This is like an Undertale kind of game. And you know what I'm probably gonna say. Undertale was kind of made by one guy with shitty lines of code. That just said to us that you can make a great game by shitty coding. Just kind of like Factorio. You can make the rocket with like shitty lines. Look, I'll even show you my world. This has no logic whatsoever, but I still managed to make a rocket. You can make the same shit with a game with bad coding. Piratesoftware has boasted about being good at coding, being good at this, etc. Yet somehow he didn't manage to finish his game. This doesn't mean that he's a bad coder. It just means that he doesn't want to like actively work on it. He'd rather stream. And to be fair, if I got thousands of dollars per hour just streaming, I would do that also like 18 hours a day. If I promise something to the public, like I made a game and they already paid for it, and I have to do 3 more chapters, it would eat me alive for not finishing that game. And that's why he's getting called out for a lot of these things. I find it kind of scummy that it's still in early access and that you didn't really like actively pursue on finishing the game. And that's why I gave you this solution. Just be honest about it and say, I don't want to finish the game, but I will put it off the Steam store and everyone that already bought the game can play it offline. Now you did one thing very good and you removed the system of checking the achievements if this game is pirated or not. Like in the video I explained earlier, you needed an internet connection for an offline game, which didn't make any sense, and now you made that game offline, so props to you, you did some good work. But just remove it from the Steam page, please. It shouldn't be on the Steam page if you're not like actively trying to finish the game. You ask the same price as Undertale, but the only difference being is this game isn't finished and Undertale is finished. I'm not gonna rag on you since I like this. I like the art style. I watched some videos online. It looks like a decent game and it gotten the praise that it deserved. Now you're getting like negative review bombed because of your smugness. That's why I say this, dissociate the art from the artist. And no, I'm not talking about these paintings. You know damn well who painted these. With Heartbound, I've actually been working on it off stream every day, like I have been for months. Like I'm done with most of the writing at the end from Animus. And then he says something contrary, like I haven't worked on it for a year. And Gaben Newell said it himself.
Piracy is the result of bad service.
And I think your issue is like this price is not okay. It's not fair for something that isn't finished. Undertale is finished and is also on like $10, which is completely worth it. This game is also worth it for $10 if it's finished. And knowing that you are an ex-Blizzard employee, if the game does finish, you'd probably like increase the price. Let's be real with that. For example, Postal 4 did the same. They increased the price after it left early access, which is like quite understandable. I love the Postal series. I love running with scissors. Especially my favorite game is still to this day Postal 2 because it's so goofy, it's so janky, it has something to it. And now it's on sale for like $10 for the same price as your game. Yes, it's a janky mess, but it's still kind of fun. As you can see, there's so many negative reviews there, which are valid. I'd say it's valid criticism. So do your research if you want to buy a game, but don't buy Heartbound if you know that he's not going to work on it anymore. So the contrast between these two creators is huge. It's almost like comparing apples to oranges, but one of them said, hey, fuck it, I don't want to like make games. I saw what happened to Dani, and at the end Dani doesn't like making games anymore since he received so much pressure from fans to finish the games, and he's just a one-man army. He couldn't do it anymore. So let me just pause the game development a little bit and let's go full-on streaming. And I don't think that was his idea from day one. I think his idea was like, yeah, I want to do both, but then he discovered that streaming was way more profitable and he just switched to that. That's what I genuinely think. It was not from a malicious intent. It was the path of least resistance. But I do appreciate your comment. This comment really made me think about that situation a little bit more and deeper. And for all the people that have watched my previous videos, thank you so much for the recent support. I really appreciate it. If you guys could get this channel to 50,000 subscribers, I would really appreciate it. Like, that would be a dream come true. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.